In the vast, ancient tapestry of the Hebrew Bible, the book of Ezekiel casts a shadow that is both profound and troubling. It raises a question so audacious that it shakes the very foundations of faith. Is the historical suffering of Israel a crime committed not by an external enemy, but by God Himself? This idea, though fleeting and undeveloped, casts a long and unsettling shadow over the biblical narrative. Ezekiel suggests that God might have seduced Israel into sin, only to punish them, all to prove a point to demonstrate His power and reveal His nature. But to whom is this demonstration made? Not to the deceived and abused Israel, for they are the victims, not the audience. The question lingers: who then is the witness to this divine spectacle of suffering? The book of Job, which follows Ezekiel in the broader context of the Hebrew Bible, grapples with this very question. Job, an innocent man who suffers unimaginably, becomes a pawn in a cosmic wager between God and Satan. His suffering is not a result of his sins, but a test of his faith. Yet, Job's story is more than a mere test. It is a profound exploration of the nature of divine justice and the limits of human understanding. Job's anguish and his eventual vindication force us to confront the same question posed by Ezekiel. How can a just God allow such suffering? Job's story is a tragedy that ends in a kind of comedy, a restoration of his fortunes. But the mood that lingers after the book's conclusion is dark and heavy with unresolved questions. It is into this somber atmosphere that the Song of Songs bursts like a breath of fresh air. This collection of love poems, with its sensual and playful spirit, seems almost a deliberate break from the heavy themes of Job. The young lovers of the Song of Songs are not concerned with divine justice or the nature of suffering. They are simply in love, and their joy and passion are a stark contrast to the suffering and questioning that precede them. The Song of Songs is a celebration of human love, a testament to the beauty and power of romantic affection. Yet, despite its secular nature, it cannot be entirely divorced from the broader religious context of the Hebrew Bible. The ancient rabbis who included it in the canon saw it as an allegory of the love between God and Israel, a metaphor for the deep, intimate relationship that should exist between the divine and the human. While modern scholars generally agree that the Song of Songs is secular love poetry, its inclusion in the Bible suggests a deeper, more symbolic significance. The love between the young man and woman in the Song of Songs can be seen as a reflection of the tenderness and intimacy that the prophets Isaiah and Hosea attributed to the relationship between God and Israel. Isaiah and Hosea, in their visions of God's love for Israel, paint a picture of a loving and forgiving God who, despite the people's sins, remains committed to them. Isaiah speaks of God's compassion and Hosea of His tender allure. These visions of divine love, though rooted in the context of a nation's redemption, echo the pure, unadulterated love of the Song of Songs. The young lovers in the Song of Songs, with their carefree and passionate devotion, remind us of the tenderness that can exist between God and His people, even in the midst of pain and estrangement. The book of Ruth, which follows the Song of Songs, continues the theme of love and redemption. Ruth, a Moabite woman, chooses to stay with her mother-in-law Naomi, even after the death of her husband. Her loyalty and love are rewarded when she marries Boaz, a wealthy kinsman, and becomes a part of the lineage of King David. Ruth's story is a testament to the power of human compassion and the unexpected ways in which God's providence can work. It is a story of love and faith that transcends cultural and religious boundaries, much like the love between the young man and woman in the Song of Songs. The inclusion of the Song of Songs and Ruth in the Hebrew Bible serves a dual purpose. On one hand, they provide a respite from the heavy theological and moral questions that dominate much of the biblical narrative. They remind us that life, even in the most challenging of times, can still be filled with beauty, love, and joy. On the other hand, they offer a different perspective on the relationship between God and humanity. The love and tenderness depicted in these books challenge us to consider a God who is not just a judge and punisher, but also a loving and compassionate presence in our lives. In the end, the Hebrew Bible is a complex and multifaceted work that grapples with the most profound questions of human existence. The books of Ezekiel, Job, the Song of Songs, and Ruth each contribute to this rich tapestry, offering different but complementary insights into the nature of God and the human condition. The question of divine justice and the problem of suffering remain, but the beauty and love found in the Song of Songs and the faith and loyalty of Ruth provide a glimmer of hope and a reminder of the enduring power of love.